Presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. We wrap up the road trip, the finale of the 4-game series from the Great American Ballpark. It's the St. Louis Cardinals and the Cincinnati Reds. And welcome to the broadcast booth. I'm Dan McLaughlin. That's the Cardinals Hall of Famer Jim Edmonds, and Scott Warman is with us as well. Delighted to have you with us for Day Baseball. It's been an interesting series. I mean, the Cardinals in that first game, not a lot of offense. They had a huge game in the second, and then last night only one run. They'll face the lefty Alex Wood, and they'll counter with Jack Flaherty, and Jack has really been good here recently.
Yeah, he's really dialed it up lately, and he's been pretty good all year, a little inconsistent, but lately he has been lights out. He's been able to establish inside fastballs. He's been able to use that slider. And you can see freezing guys with that inside fastball, and that has been most effective so far and probably his biggest weapon of late.
That's our Kia Give It Everything, the inside fastball. But look at this. The last 7 starts, the numbers don't lie. Maybe the best pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, like I said, he's really dialed it up, and he's taken over in this rotation. He's kind of been the ace lately, and guys have been really feeding off of this, and he needs a big start today.
Can he stop this guy? Aquino is red hot with 11 home runs to start his big league career. Reds, Cardinals, Day Baseball coming up. The writer of the Reds is off to a remarkable start. 11 home runs, 58 plate appearances, second fastest in Major League history, as Mike Schmidt did that in 56. In terms of games, he is the quickest. What a start, and he's in the lineup here this afternoon. Getting cranked back up. See this offense get going. Alex Wood delivers our first pitch when we come back. And Cincinnati Reds from the Great American Ballpark here in the Queen City. Along with Scott Warman and Jim Edmonds, I'm Dan McLaughlin. It's 91 degrees here in Cincinnati. We're very muggy and warm. Cardinals with the loss yesterday. The Pirates lost to the Cubs 2-0. So Chicago is tied with St. Louis, and Milwaukee had a crazy game last night with the Nationals, and they pulled that out late, snapping the Nationals' 5-game winning streak. They're 1 game out. Edman at the top, then Carpenter and Goldschmidt, Ozuna, DeYoung, Molina, Lane Thomas, Jairo Munoz, Jack Flaherty. Cardinals lineup, and they'll face Alex Wood, 28-year-old from Charlotte, North Carolina. This is only his 5th start of the year. Traded by the Dodgers to the Reds in December with Kyle Farmer, his battery mate today. Matt Kemp and Yasiel Puig from Los Angeles. Reds sent Homer Bailey, now with Oakland, and 2 minor leaguers back to L.A. The switch hitter, Tommy Edman. You forget Alex Wood was an all-star in 2017. He was 16-3, ERA below 3 with the Dodgers that season. Can he ever stay healthy? He's had stints on the injured list in every season from 2016 to now, and that's taken low. Something to consider is that he has not reached 100 pitches in a start this year. Just thrown 66 and 78 pitches in his last 2 starts, and there's a base hit into right field.
Well, he hasn't pitched a whole lot, so It's almost like he's still trying to get to that point where he's working himself into 100 pitches.
Toyota key to the game with Jim Edmonds.
Basically today, just figure this lefty out. Haven't seen him a whole lot. Hasn't been around a whole lot. Like you said, he's been hurt. Cardinals have struggled against lefties at times, and This is a big game today for the Cardinals. I believe that this is another one of those must-win games during the course of a season. You cannot leave here losing 3 out of 4.
Carpenter 1 for 9 in this series. And it was his 20th career home run that he hit last night against the Reds. He had 3 home runs against Cincinnati of his 11 this year. Also had a couple of walks, the 130th multi-walk game. 7th most in Cardinals history. And he's tied with my partner Jim Edmonds in that department. Lefties 364, a couple of home runs allowed, and the righties 298, 4 home runs allowed.
No, that means that he's got a pretty decent changeup to righties and doesn't throw it a whole lot to lefties.
You don't see him double up on fastballs very often. Back to back, he's going to mix it up a bunch. 1-2 the count on Carpenter. Cardinals on this road trip. 2 games in Kansas City and now 4 here in Cincinnati, hitting .237 as a team. And some of the bigger guys just have not had a great trip as Carpenter waves at it. And did he get a piece? He certainly did.
I think he got a piece of the umpire too.
So Farmer is going to give the umpire a chance to catch his breath. The catcher of the Reds, home plate umpires Tim Timmons. He's your crew chief. 19.5 years of big league service for Tim Timmons. Roberto Ortiz at first, Mike Mulchinski is at second, and Rob Drake down at third.
Not a good way to start the day.
Well, apparently home plate umpire caught that foul ball where you just don't want to catch it. Here's a 1-2 pitch. And we'll just leave it at that. You know what I'm saying?
Now I do.
Ouch. 2-2 the count. Milwaukee in town tomorrow. $6 seats available. All important series with the Brewers beginning tomorrow night. And a called third strike on Matt Carpenter. Reds defensively. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. They've committed 61 errors as a team this year. Irvin in left, Senzel in center, Aquino in right. Suarez, he's back in their starting lineup. Iglesias, Galvis, Van Meter, and Farmer behind the plate. And here's Paul Goldschmidt. And strike one. 3 for 19 on the trip. Popped a 2-run homer the other night. Paul Goldschmidt, after the 2015 season, gifted his Silver Slugger Award to then current Reds hitting coach Turner Ward. He's really credited Turner Ward for being a big influence in his career. Nice gift.
I'll say.
So when you get your Emmy, what do I get?
You can have it.
You can have mine.
Okay, there we go. Hopefully win them together.
There you go.
Paul Goldschmidt is 6 for 26 against Alex Wood. It's only .222. It's the first time I think we've seen him without hitting 400 against someone in the Central.
These two know each other from their days in the NL West. Strike 2 on Paul. Cardinals come in with a record of 64 and 57. It's game number 122. 4 games below the 500 mark, away from Busch Stadium, and tied with the Cubs atop the NL Central. And a strikeout of Goldschmidt.
Good pitch right there. Slider down and in, starts, they can see it, almost starts right over the plate and just ends up by his foot. possible to hit that pitch. It's a ball. The only thing you can do with that pitch is lay off it.
Marcell Ozuna has reached base in every game since coming off the injured list. And that was back on the 3rd of August. It's Van Meter again at first base. Right before our first pitch, the Reds put Joey Votto on the injured list with his sore back. And they just called up Brian O'Grady. He's a left-handed hitting first baseman. He's got some power, a lot of strikeouts, but Votto is on the IL. So the entire series, we've not seen Joey Votto.
And now with Joey Votto on the DL or IL, sorry, not one guy on the Reds team is 30 years old and older. Everyone 29 and younger.
Reaching in and out of the glove of Van Meter. Committed his first error last night. That will not be an error. Good effort.
People always ask why I always put my other hand in the glove when I was diving.
There you go.
That's why. Run all that way for nothing.
But I've heard you talk about catching a fly ball. You always hear the term use two hands. I've heard you say no. Well, sometimes one.
I don't. Yeah, it just depends on the scenario. I'm not saying to catch it with two or one. I'm saying if you're a young player, you always use two hands. You see most of the big leaguers use two hands. It just depends and the how you're running, what the situation is. But I'll tell you what, when you run a long way and dive for a ball, I'm putting that other hand on top of my glove or on top of that ball. Make sure to squirt out.
Ripped foul. Ozuna average exit velocity is 92.1 miles per hour. 7th hardest in Major League Baseball. So if he barrels one up more times than not, it's a rocket somewhere. Runner goes, and a throw down to second, and a stolen base. Tommy Edman already with 8 stolen bases. Got a good read and a good jump.
Really good jump, and you know he can run. Steals that bag easy.
Man in scoring position. Ozuna had this situation last night, could not come through. And a swing and a miss. Wood strikes out 3 here in the top of the first. You never know, maybe a pitcher's duel here for game 4. Flaherty has been outstanding, just awesome lately. We'll see if it carries over this afternoon. For the Cardinals, a record of 6-6 overall. Opponents only hitting .214 against him. And as we talked about during the open in our Hyundai pitch arsenal, when he pitches inside, really good numbers for Jack. And right before the break, it was the start against the Giants. Gave up a no-hitter in the 7th. Eventually lost that game, but if you include that game and everything here in the second half, not many better, if any are better numbers-wise than Jack Flaherty.
Yeah, you know, he's got a couple of no decisions too. He's gotten 4 no decisions, 5 no decisions in his last 9 games. So sometimes those guys go out there, and even though you're pitching well, you could still get no decisions, and hence the 6-6 record with the ERA just dropping every time he goes out there.
Here's Nick Senzel, and that's put in play. Flaherty looking back to see what the heck's going on. Senzel, I'm not sure he knew what happened with that ball, but it's an out.
Didn't know what to do with himself.
Lineup for David Bell: Senzel, Van Meter, Suarez. 5th in the National League in homers. Aquino, 11 home runs in 17 games. Then Galvis, the switch hitter. Irvin, Iglesias, Farmer, and Wood. It's something that Senzel does an awful lot of. First pitch swinging.
Well, will you count that as a swing? I guess you have to.
Check swing on that one.
Swing and a beauty. Danny, Jack's last 4 games, he's given up 3 hits, 4 hits, 1 hit, and 3 hits. That's it.
Good fastball, nothing in 2. Van Meter went 2 for 2 with a run scored last night, and has hit safely in his last 6. 293 on the year. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Love the efficiency here. 4 pitches, 2 outs. Cardinals defense, Ozuna, Thomas, and Munoz in the outfield. Carpenter, DeYoung, Edman, Goldschmidt along the infield, Molina behind the plate. Around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Cardinals have committed 50 errors through 121 games, and that's 42 fewer compared to this time last year.
Yep. Done a nice job emphasizing defense this year.
High fly ball, left center. Thomas back, looks up, and it's gone. Suarez with his 34th homer.
This guy kills the Cardinals. Trying to get that ball out over the plate. Threw it and it ran back. That's a situation right there we go over a lot with. For righties, when you're trying to throw the ball away from a right-hander and it runs back. That's why I'd like to see guys, and me personally would like to see guys throw a 4-seamer out there that stays out there, and it gets frustrating because it's just part of the game. I mean, the ball is going to run back when you throw a 2-seamer out there, and with 2 strikes I can see you backdooring pitches and running stuff back. But if that ball comes across the middle early in the count, guys are going to hammer it.
Now Aquino hit a 3-run homer off of Michaelis with 2 outs in the 5th inning of last night's game. 11 on the year. He's hitting the breaking ball, and you know, we talked about it last night. It looks like you're gonna have to try to pitch him hard
inside. That's what they said in the. A couple of the Reds guys said that no one has tried that yet, and he's hit 2 cutters or sliders out for homers in the last 2 days.
Three home runs shy of the Reds club record for the month of August, which was Frank Robinson. 14 in 1962 in the month of August. The Reds have the 20 patch on their jerseys throughout the season. And this being their 1990 jersey, but their normal 2019 jersey will have that 20 patch to honor Frank Robinson. So you celebrate 150 years of baseball.
And that's the pitch right there. You're going to have to prove to me that you can hit. And what happens if you throw that 4 or 5 or 6 times in a row and he proves that he can hit it, or he can't? Then all of a sudden he starts looking for it. Then you got the outside part of the plate back.
That was the 36th first inning home run hit by the Reds this year. They lead all of baseball in first innings in runs scored, homers, runs batted in. That was their 98th. And the first inning average is well above 300. Boy, that's setting a tone in a game.
Yeah, ready to go.
Three and 2 the count. 1-0 Reds on the home run by Suarez. Popped up. Goldschmidt calling for it. He has it. First pitch with 2 outs to Suarez, a home run, number 34, and it's 1-0 after 1. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. It's MLB.tv. I was watching the Nationals and the Brewers into the wee hours of the morning last night.
Not to me.
Christian Yelich with a couple of home runs. He now has 41. And he and Bellinger, Cody Bellinger of the Dodgers, tied with 41 home runs.
It's pretty impressive already. They go 15 innings last night.
I believe that was the final toll. Popped up.
14 innings last night. Sorry.
Shallow right. Aquino.
They won 15-14.
And the batter is Yadier Molina. Yadi did not play last night. It was Matt Wieters getting the start. 106 career games at this ballpark. 15 home runs, .321 average. And he's one double shy of passing Gary Carter for 10th all-time in doubles by a major league catcher. That pitch is popped up. Van Meter in foul territory. He'll make the catch. Cardinals baseball brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. By Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer.
Danny Yelich went 5 for 6 last night.
He also made late in the game a catch leaping up against the wall to take away an extra base hit. Here's Lane Thomas.
38 hits in the game between both sides.
4th start for Lane, and he's had 20 games coming off the bench. He's hit safely in all those starts.
Had a good swing last night, too. He lined out to the center fielder, hit a missile. I like this young man.
I'd be curious to see what he could do with more playing time.
Me too.
Lane Thomas and Nick Senzel grew up competing against each other at rival high schools in Knoxville, Tennessee. And Senzel went off to play in college. Lane was committed to go there and then was drafted by the Blue Jays and signed. And those two are very, very close. Lane Thomas made his debut April 19th. Homered in his first at bat. Senzel called up 2 weeks later. Homered 3 times in his first 4 at bats. And Lane was telling me those two still talk a couple of times a week.
Yeah, he said they're really good friends.
Thomas went to Bearden High School, Senzel Farragut, and then they competed in the high school ranks in the summer. They were with each other and together all the time. Lined out to left and a base hit. Cardinals have their second hit.
It's a really nice swing right here. Slider. Doesn't get it where he wanted to, but good job by Lane right there, hitting it before it gets down in the zone.
Well, you were talking about the youth of the Reds. Cardinals, Edman, Thomas, they're 2 of 8 players that are 25 or younger on this roster. Here's Munoz, who's hit safely in 19 of 26 starts and was on base 3 times last night. Getting the start in right field today. 3 hits to match his season high and a .429 average at this ballpark this year. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. I'm with you, Jimmy. I think this game is extremely important for the Cardinals. And then 6 of the next 10 games are the Cardinals and the Brewers. So if you're going to win the division, you got to win games against lesser teams and then beat.
And then the Reds come right back into town.
Yep. Milwaukee and Chicago got to beat those teams. Cardinals strand a runner. We're midway through 2 and it's 1-0. If you can't catch a game on television, you can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app, log in and stream the Cardinals. Just outside the ballpark near the Reds Hall of Fame, we'll visit with a Hall of Famer coming up in our 3rd inning, and that's longtime voice of the Cincinnati Reds, Marty Brennaman, will be our guest. Looking forward to that.
I think you should have him and his son in here at the same time.
And then they can yell at each other.
Oh boy.
That's one of the reasons that Tom came back to Cincinnati, to have the
Tom is very energetic.
privilege of working with his dad. Those two get the chance to do some radio together. Here's Freddie Galvis, batting .276. Then Phillip Ervin and Jose Iglesias. Galvis has been a nice pickup, Jimmy, here for the Reds, at least initially. Now, I know it's early, but results have been good.
Well, I think he's a nice player. Gives good at bats. He plays great defense. He was on the highlight reel a couple times up in Toronto.
First pitch by Jack here in the bottom of the second was a strike. Jammed him, fouled back. So Freddie started the year with Toronto, claimed by the Reds on waivers August 12th. Had 6 years with Philly, last year with the Padres, began this season with the Blue Jays. And a swing and a miss, and strikeout number 2.
I have to say, I think that Toronto did a bad job with that. I think that you had a guy, as you look at the slider from Jack right there, and the fastball inside, set that up. I think when you have a player like Bichette coming through the ranks, and you think you're going to bring him up, you got to get him up before the trade deadline. Because you get to the point right here and you're just going to let a guy go, just give him away. Am I wrong? Am I off base with that?
No, I can see it.
Guy's got 19 home runs.
Well, I go back to what you were talking about yesterday, and there's a fly ball in to left field off the bat of Phillip Ervin, and you said, you know, teams generally speaking are just not paying to have veterans on the bench. Now you've got Bichette, Biggio, Guerrero on that infield, and a guy like Galvis, and we don't know enough if he's that kind of player or leader, wants to be every day. But generally speaking, I do see what you're saying, where
I just don't want to give him away, is all I'm saying. Like, if you have a chance to trade him, I mean, clearly somebody picked him up so they can use him. They know he's a good player. You don't go from one team to another and then get injected to the starting lineup instantly if you're not worthy. I just felt like trade deadline was just passed within a couple of weeks, right? And they let him go and just gave him away pretty much.
Here's Jose Iglesias running a 12-game hitting streak, longest active streak in baseball. Last 6 games, hot hitter, 9 base hits, 2 doubles and a triple. Soft liner and caught by Paul DeYoung. We'll visit with the Hall of Famer retiring after this Major League season. Marty Brennaman, our guest, coming up.
A couple of times, Shao kicks and he fires. Rose swings.
There it is! There it is! Get out! Get out! All right!
Hit number 4192. A line drive single into left center field. A clean base hit. It is pandemonium here at Riverfront Stadium. The fireworks.
The voice of the great Marty Brennaman in baseball's Hall of Fame, and calling it quits after this season on that historic hit by Pete Rose. Great to visit with you, Marty.
Nice to be here with you, Danny. Thank you very much for the invitation.
This is Jack Flaherty at the plate. It'll be Flaherty, Edman, and Carpenter. 1-0 Reds. I got to ask you, why retire?
Well, for a lot of reasons. You know, 46 years is long enough. I'm healthy. I'm the healthiest, knock on wood, 77-year-old guy I know, and I'm married to a young woman who's not going to allow me to sit around and do nothing. And there are places I want to go and things I want to do while I'm still physically able to do it.
Where do you want to go?
And we're going to go back to Europe. We went to in October, and I discovered a whole new world. I went kicking and screaming. I didn't want to go. I'd been to Ireland and Scotland.
Kicking and screaming, Marty.
But I do it.
Shocking.
I do it very, very subtly with her because she would not take my whatever.
Well, so she actually is a boss, and that's the only person you really listen to. You can call it all you want. You're the Hall of Famer.
Nice catch by Iglesias. I pretty much follow her lead.
Good for
That's
you.
A diplomatic way of saying it.
I think we all need to listen like that.
That's very true.
Are you going to miss it?
I'm going to miss the people. I don't think I'm going to miss a game. I've seen enough baseball. I've broadcast enough baseball. But people like you and all the people that I cross paths with other clubs and the people that work here in the ballpark, I'm going to really miss the people. I've done an informal poll over the last 3 years with doctors and lawyers and factory workers and mailmen and every possible walk of life. And I said, you know, you've been retired all these years. What do you miss, if anything? They said, I miss the people.
Yeah.
I think it's almost by acclamation people feel that way. And that's going to be the hardest thing I'm going to have to do to overcome being away from the game.
Congratulations, by the way, on so many different Hall of Fames. But you're going into the Reds Hall of Fame. You'll be the first broadcaster to go in. Reds had never done that. And there's a base hit for Tommy Edman. He's 2 for 2.
He's
what
a
does
nice
that mean?
looking young player.
Oh yeah, he's the kind of guy that can play the game, which is what we talk about all the time.
Yeah,
not so
nice
much the
player.
analytics and sabermetrics. And there's the resume for the real Mr. Red, Marty Brennaman. But going into the Reds Hall of Fame, what's it going to mean to you?
Well, it's going to mean a lot to me. At the risk of sounding egotistical, 46 years, and I did a study of Halls of Fame with other teams around baseball, and this is the only club up until they recently changed the bylaws that would allow anybody else in their hall other than that would only restrict it to players and front office general managers, or there may be an owner or two in there, I don't know, but almost every one of them had broadcasters in there. And I just felt that if anybody ever deserved to be in there based on a body of work, that I felt like I did. And thank God they felt the same way. And so I'm truly looking toward next April, because it's a big event in this town. There'd be 1,200 or 1,300 people there, and it's a true gala. All the Hall of Famers from the club come back. And it's going to mean an awful lot to me. It really is.
What has it meant to work with your son?
Well, you know, I don't work with him too much anymore. The last 3 games I do are going to be here in September, and he's going to work with me in my next to the last game on radio only. In the old days being 10 years ago, 12 years ago when he came, I did work with him regularly or semi-regularly on radio, but it's just nice to have him here in town. It's nice to have my grandkids here. So it's meant a lot to me that he wanted to come back here and leave after a very successful run with the Arizona Diamondbacks.
The game frustrates you a little bit now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's not the game that I was introduced to a million years ago. I like stealing bases. I told Rick Hummel that's why I like what you guys did the other night. You stole 3 bases, and you've already stolen a base here today. I love that. I love hitting and running. I love aggressively running the bases. There's too much standing around in this game right now. As far as when the 3 priorities are the 3 things that are most important are home runs, walks, and strikeouts, with little activity going on the field, I have a problem with that. I really do.
Play commissioner for a day. What would you change?
Well, I try to bring the pendulum back more close toward the middle, and not put so much emphasis on analytics. I'm not an analytics guy, but I understand it's here. It's going to be here. It is never going to go away. I've always felt like scouting is the lifeblood of this game. I think their importance have been less important or minimized over the last number of years. And I want to see them become more aggressive and more recognized for the wonderful things that they do in this game. I think, quite honestly, the commissioner performs a lot of lip service on stuff that he wants to change. I want to see some action. Not that kind.
That's pretty good action there. His 2nd home run in this series. Goldschmidt. Speaking of launch angle, exit velocity, homers. Hey, thanks, Marty.
Well, you're very welcome. My timing is impeccable.
I'm telling you, that's why you're in the Hall of Fame.
I'll tell you what, I know you guys waited forever and ever and ever, and I know the people in Arizona were saying, just wait, don't be impatient, it's going to happen. Boy, he's been something since the All-Star break.
That's his 28th home run. He now has driven in 68 to lead the club in both those categories, and the Cardinals have their first lead here in Game 4. Who are the players today that you like to watch?
Well, I like to watch Mike Trout. I enjoy watching him. I enjoy watching the kid that the Reds have at shortstop. And if they don't actively and seriously try to re-sign Jose Iglesias, I don't understand why. He's one of the 5 best defensive shortstops I've ever seen, Ozzie included in that group. but again, I like to watch guys that are aggressive, that make things happen, and the long ball is what makes things happen in this game today.
Again, timing impeccable.
Yes.
Iglesias, don't go anywhere, okay? Will you stay for one more half inning, please?
Sure.
I know you're begrudgingly doing it, but please do it.
I will.
Thank you. To have the opportunity and privilege to visit with Marty Brennaman, longtime voice of the Cincinnati Reds, and for so many years paired up with Joe Nuxhall. As you are finishing up this season, how many times have you thought about Joe?
Oh, a lot. I mean, he and I were together for 31 years, and next to, well, that equals the longest two guys have been together in a radio booth.
Does it really? I didn't know that.
I think it's by 1 year more than Jack and Mike, and it equals the 31 years that Scully and Jerry Doggett worked together in Los Angeles.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, so I mean, I can't begin to tell you how close we were, and the longer we worked together, the closer we got, and we had some great times together. I've never been around a guy that had such celebrity and had so little ego. He had none at all. He was constantly amazed by how he attracted people who genuinely loved him. He had a heart attack, and I was in the hospital with him, and the room was filled with flowers and cards and letters, and he was just dumbfounded by it. And I said, "You don't get it, do you?" And he said, "What?" I said, "How much people love you." He said, "I'm just overwhelmed by all of this." And he was genuinely, he was one of the coolest people I've ever had the pleasure of knowing.
Have you been overwhelmed by the response of your announcement and retirement?
Yeah, I have. And it's been awfully nice hearing from all sorts of people. But then again, when you're around as long as I've been around, I guess to some extent that's all people ever know.
Yeah.
People, two generations of people. And I never dreamed that when I came here in 1974, this would be going on in 2019. As you well know, we're in such a, well, you don't know because you've been blessed like me. You've been with one team, and those of us who have done that are truly blessed because it's such a transient business, and everybody constantly thinks the grass is always greener somewhere else, and more often than not, they're wrong. And so every time I had a chance to leave, I always said no because I love living here. I love raising kids here. The quality of life as it is in St. Louis is wonderful. I mean, why the heck would you want to go somewhere else? And maybe for a little bit more money, which will be eaten up because of the higher cost of living. I've never figured it out.
While we have you, your thoughts on St. Louis, the fan base, and also Jack Buck?
Well, I've said the fan base is the best in baseball. I truly believe that. I'm amazed every time we come in there, and it's a capacity crowd. Jack Buck was wonderful to me in the years that he was alive and was actively working. In fact, when I went into the broadcaster's wing in 2000, the three guys most responsible for that were Jack Buck, Vin Scully, and Ernie Harwell. I had a great relationship with Jack. St. Louis traveling into it, the hotel, the Ritz-Carlton, I'm giving them a free plug now. The Ritz-Carlton in Clayton is the best hotel that I stayed in. And I say that because of the incredibly wonderful people that work there, from the bellman to everybody. I truly look forward to going there every time the club went because of the people and the hotel and the area. Clayton's a wonderful area. It's no negative for me. I enjoyed all the years I travel in there, and I have a special place in my heart for the DeWitt family because when I went in 2000, along with Sparky and with Tony Perez, Bill and Kathy were there, and I got a chance to spend a little bit of time with them and get to know them, and I have a tremendously high opinion of those folks.
You have a favorite moment, Call?
In St. Louis, yeah. Junior's 500th home run on Father's Day on Matt Morris.
That's right. How about overall? Is that your favorite?
Yeah. I just, in the old days, I didn't run the streets like a lot of other guys did. I'd go home at night and...
Oh, here we go. So you get in the Hall of Fame by lying is what you do, huh? Unbelievable.
Oh, now see, here you go. Now this conversation is going to go dead south.
That's good. That's how we normally have our conversation.
Yes, it is.
I love it. You've called so many great moments. Had been around, and boy, you got it. The job at the right time, replacing Al Michaels, and all of a sudden you're in the middle of the Big Red Machine.
Yeah, I had Byron Som, who was is a broadcaster's wing Hall of Famer, and was with the Phillies in 1977. He said to me one day, "Young man, you know how fortunate you are." And rather flippantly, I said, "Yeah." Why? I said, "Yeah, I got a big league broadcast." He said, "I'm not talking about that." He said, "You've got 2 World Series rings the first 3 years you've been here." He said, "I've been doing Phillies baseball since 1947, and I've never gotten one."
Wow.
And it really never made an impression upon me. I thought you were supposed to do it every year. And then they go from 76 to 90 when that Barry Larkin-led team and Eric Davis won it all over the A's.
Wire to wire.
And then I appreciated that team more than all the rest of them. I know the Big Red Machine was the greatest team I was associated with, but the 1990 team is my favorite team here.
Marty Brennaman, our guest, the Hall of Famer who will retire after this year. Have you thought about what you might say at the end of your final broadcast?
I have not. I got very emotional the other day when the announcement about the Reds Hall of Fame, and I didn't think I would, and I did. The next month, September, is going to be a rough month for me because that's when I'll really focus on the fact. So far, the season has been relatively normal.
Yeah.
Recognitions in other ballparks and things like that are out of the norm. But as far as here is concerned, I come to work every day. It's no big deal. But September will be tough. It'll really, really be rough for me. And again, it'll be emotional for me because of the people. That's it. I mean, I don't know that as far as I'm concerned, baseball people are the greatest people in the world. I mean, I just think they're sensational. And so I'll just have to get over that bump and figure out what's going to be next.
You're adamant about Pete Rose being in the Hall of Fame.
I am.
Can you do anything about that? I mean, with your voice, your stature in the game?
I really believe, Dan, that he'll go in one day, but I think he'll go in after he's dead.
Yeah.
And that will be the grossest injustice that's ever been. If you're going to wait till then something's wrong with the people that make that decision.
Marty, absolute best. Thank you, and thanks for all the years.
Danny, I've enjoyed the relationship.
Love you, buddy. You're
Thanks,
the best.
pal. Same here. Thank you.
Marty Brennaman, longtime broadcaster and one of the best ever to do it in Major League Baseball. Night returns to Busch August 19th. Cardinals and Brewers. Purchase of a special theme ticket. You can choose between a Cardinals Hercules bobblehead or a Cardinals Smalls bobblehead. And that's a theme night coming up with Milwaukee in town. Here's Paul DeYoung. I'm not going to tell you what the entire note said to Marty Brennaman, but I will give you a little insight. I got Marty a little parting gift before the game today and been waiting to give it to him, and had a personal note. But one of the things that I said to him in that note was thank you for treating me with such great respect when I first started and treating me as an equal. I was in my early 20s, Jim, and here's this guy in the Hall of Fame, and he treated me like a long-lost friend, and it's been that way ever since. And I'm very, very appreciative of Marty Brennaman. Wonderful man. 4 strikeouts for Wood. And then there's other parts of the note I had to leave out because he gave me a lot of trouble. But I appreciate it.
Along with everyone else.
That's right. A lot of fun.
How was that interview?
He's awesome. I hope fans in St. Louis enjoyed it. I would assume that they would. I mean, he is baseball personified. He's made his life behind that microphone in nearly 7,000 games. As Molina reaches on the air, no reason for Suarez to gun it like that.
There's absolutely no reason for him to make that throw. Nice one hopper. Nice and easy flip. Yachty not even running. Just kind of wanted to air it out. Happens sometimes. Good lesson. Good lesson for the younger players watching.
You could see he was trying to show it off too, wasn't he?
Yep. I don't know what that hit, but it was pretty loud over there in that camera well.
Sure was. And now it's Lane Thomas who singled to left field on a 2-strike pitch back in the 2nd inning.
Just like that, you got a runner in scoring position.
Yep. You know, people forget with all the years that Marty had here in Cincinnati, but he was as good as they come in college basketball too. Amazing. And play-by-play on the radio. And the NCAA tournament, the championships that he had the opportunity to call, and some of the famous moments. Like the Leitner game against Kentucky. Just one of many. I'm sure fans here in Cincinnati don't like to hear that. It's a thing. We're not that far away from Kentucky, so you get a lot of fans that are KU fans or Kentucky fans and
staring right at the beautiful state.
Bob Huggins all those years with Cincinnati. Louisville not far away. There's a strike. 3-1. But thank you, Marty Brennaman. Up the middle and a base hit. Lane Thomas a start today, and he's 2 for 2. And it's a 2-run St. Louis lead. They make him pay with the throwing error, and it's 3-1 Cardinals.
That hurts right there.
Lane Thomas, Jimmy, may force the issue to play.
Yeah. And they say he can play. He's done a nice job. These youngsters have been taking good at bats too. Tommy with 2 hits, Lane with 2 hits. It's not like they just went up there and hit the first pitch either. They kind of battled through some pitches and good at bats.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Munoz instead of check on Thomas, who does have 1 stolen base this year. A swing and a miss on a hit and run, and Thomas is tagged out. Pitch was way outside. Tough to protect on that type of pitch.
Yeah, I had no choice but to swing and no chance to hit it. Try to foul it off. I like being aggressive right here. He's just too quick to the plate. No way to make contact on that pitch.
And that is out number 2, and Munoz rips it foul. Gyro lined out to right first time up. And that's out of play. Swing and a miss. A couple of strikeouts in the inning. Woods struck out 3 in the first, 2 in this inning, but Thomas RBI single to make it 3-1.
Bottom of the 4th. No, Dan and Jim were talking about Jack Flaherty and his propensity to pitch inside. In my visit with him before today's start, Jack Flaherty said it's something that has evolved over time. He says some guys just really aren't comfortable, but for something like that, for him, he's committed to it. Asked his manager Mike Schilt today about throwing inside, and Mike Schultz said, hey, there's 3 levels of throwing inside. One of them is effect. He said pitching inside, Dan, makes his secondary pitches much more effective. And Dan, great interview with Marty Brennaman. It's a shame we're going to lose another great voice in baseball.
Yeah, it is, but I think the thing that you take away from it is that he's going out on top. He's going out as still one of the best in baseball, and he's doing it on his own terms, which is something that everybody would clearly, Jimmy, want to do. 77, and you wouldn't know it. Here's Suarez, who is homered, committed the error that led to a run. Right when I said that Suarez is 5th in the National League in homers, he hits number 34, and I said he was trailing the guys at the top with 41, Bellinger and Yelich. Bellinger is already homered today. He's got 42.
Jeez.
Incredible.
And like he just stands there and takes a hack. Done such a nice job. Just like he just has improved each year he's gone out there. Become a serious threat.
And a ground ball softly hit, barehanded, and a nice play. Carpenter put a little extra on that, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. That was a nice play, barehanded. That's where you got to pitch, right there. Good fastball by Jack Flaherty on the inner edge on the hands.
Aristides Aquino. Do or die here with Carpenter.
I'd give him a 10 on that one.
Did you go country western on me on that, Jimmy, or what?
I went Brian Shapiro on me. On you.
A 10.
A 10.
10 out of 10. Aquino taps it foul. He popped out on a 3-2 pitch. First time up. Wide open stance changed before the season, and it paid dividends big time. And the 0-2 check swing. Good slider there by Flaherty.
Did we say he had 38 or now 39 home runs for the whole year? He had a bunch of home runs in the minor leagues. Thought you said 28. Now he's got 11.
At 27.
27.
No, check that. 28 in 78 games at Louisville, their AAA affiliate.
Check that. I would just pound him in.
The 1-2 and a slider. If you're going to throw that slider, though, it's got to be off the plate. Roll over or swing through it, chase it.
He's not going to chase it unless you establish inside. He's thrown a couple pitches in there, but he hasn't made it seem like he's going to stay in there.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and the next by Flaherty. Just off the plate. So here we go. 2-run lead for the Cardinals, and a big pitch here. 3-2 on the power hitting Aquino.
Good at bat.
A little bit low.
Good at bat right there.
Started 0-2 and gets the walk. Now time for T-Mobile's connection to the game. Division races heating up, and 4 divisions still up for grabs. And they've gotten tight. Remember, these were big leads there for a while. Indians trailing the Twins by 2.5. The A's within 6.5. The Nationals, and then the Cardinals and the Cubs are tied. So we're not even looking at the wild card in that graphic. Those are just the division races. And the tying run at the plate, and Freddie Galvis. First pitch swinging, and it's popped foul and out of play.
And Cart might have got away. I mean, I think Jack might have got away with that one. Elvis is taking a hack. That's what I'm saying right there. Look at those numbers. How do you give that away? 276, 19, and 57. An infielder.
And did not hear anything that was an issue with him.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think that's just a miss by the Toronto organization, is not getting anything back.
Well, I find it interesting, Jimmy. I hear all the time, well, I traded away, and this is a general statement, X amount of years for service time, and I got back double it or triple it. And that's fine, but if the guy can't play or those players can't play, what's the difference? What's the point?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand the business side of it, the cost control aspect, but you can't play, you can't play. Line drive into right, and is there a play at first? No. But a strong throw into Yachty, who blocks it. As Munoz shows off the arm.
Galvis is making $4 million this year. So another thing I'm saying, you just given up a guy making $4 million. You just let him see ya.
Yeah.
This kind of shocks me in the day that in this age of baseball, where it's so business driven and so statistically driven, that they let that slip through the cracks maybe for just about 2 weeks.
Here's Phillip Ervin.
I'm fascinated by that move right now.
I'm with you. I mean, there are moves that are made that make me scratch my head, and I get curious about it. Now, you don't know the inner workings behind the scenes as to why they did it, and maybe there's other young players or a veteran they've got that they like. But Galvis, to me, has always been pretty steady. Phillip Ervin, his 4th stint up with the big club. He was a first-round pick out of Samford, not Stanford, Samford University, which is in Homewood, Alabama, the Southern Conference. And a fly ball, right field. Munoz won't get there. Drops in front of him. And Aquino racing to third, and runners at the corners. It brings in Iglesias.
Munoz can't catch that ball. He's playing so deep, not being your everyday right fielder. Guy on first, 2 outs, probably playing no doubles a little bit. Ball's just going to fall in. You can see where he's standing in the top right-hand corner of your screen, and probably should be an out in a normal situation, but I think they're playing no doubles right there, and unfortunately for Jack, that ball falls in.
The batter, Iglesias. You were off headset and didn't hear it, but Marty Brenneman said he's one of the top 5 defensive shortstops he's ever seen.
Interesting. We've seen some good ones.
I've always liked this guy. He can play. I mean, he's defensively, he's really good, and they feel, in talking with those around their club, that it may have taken a while, but he's finally come into his own offensively. 8 home runs, driven in 47, batting right around 300. Initially signed by the Red Sox, then to the Tigers. He defected from Cuba in 2008. And his family was so excited that he had signed with the Red Sox because of Louis Tiant. They knew of Louis Tiant and the headlines that he had made for so many years with the Red Sox, and then he signs with Boston.
It's the last time I'm going to talk about this.
All right.
Bo Bichette, shortstop. Reason why that they lost Galvis, right? He got called up and played on July 29th, 2 days before the trade deadline. You would think that they would have maybe thought about that trade deadline if they thought he could play, because you lost a good trade and a good quality player 12 days after the deadline, and that's what I'm talking about. I would hate to give away a talent like Freddie Galvis because I messed up for 12 days.
2 strikes on Iglesias.
Done with it.
You're moving on.
I will ask somebody one day when we go to Toronto, though.
We'll be there next year. Schedule is out if you haven't seen it. We'll open up here on March 26th against the Reds. Interleague play, the American League East. Runner goes from first, and it's swung on and tapped foul.
Good pitch. Nasty sinker. You know, sometimes you watch guys and you can't really tell. It's that pitch again. He did that yesterday too, right off that shin pad. You know, I just saying, like, I like the way I see like Galvis moving around, plays defense, and numbers on offense are there. Sometimes it takes you a while to see if a kid can play or not. See, after 4 days, I think he's pretty talented.
One ball, 2 strikes. Big gap in left center. Pitch number 56 from Flaherty. Long look, and now time is called.
It's a little bit too big of a gap in left center, if you ask me.
And pulled foul.
A lot of room out there in that gap. That's a big gap. 387 to the wall out there in that corner by the bullpen. No man's land.
Flaherty has struck out 3 today. Runners at first and third. And the 1-2 pitch. Runner goes again. Put in play. Hit to short. Gloved by DeYoung. Quickly to first. And he got him.
Play.
Iglesias getting down the line. Red strand a pair. We move to inning number 5. Cardinals on top 3-1. Blue Fuse, this date in baseball history. See more at fuse.com. And a Hall of Famer that we don't talk all that much about made his debut 97 years ago today. Sonny Jim. And he got that nickname due to his lighthearted disposition. Veterans Committee selected him in 1974. Made his major league debut 97 years ago. He was part of 4 different World Series teams. He also drove in 12 runs in a 9-inning game. And that was against the Dodgers. And that record would stand until Mark Whitten did it against the Reds in 1993 when he had that 4-home-run game.
I was reading that stat and I saw the 12 RBIs in 9 innings and I thought, man, that's impossible. Like, that'll never be duplicated. And I kept reading and I was like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, Mark Whitten did it.
Mark Whitten did it. I don't know if anybody's been that close to it.
Scooter Gennett against the Cardinals.
What did he have? He didn't have 12, did he?
We had the 4-home-run night against St. Louis. He drove in 10 or 11.
I think it was like, I thought it was 9 or 10. I was doing that game with you.
Remember the final home run off of John Brebbia, and there's a strikeout of Flaherty, and that's number 6 today for Wood. And back to the top of the lineup in Tommy Edman. 2 hits today. Had a 6-pitch at bat back in the first. Singled to right. Stole his 8th bag. Singled to left in the third. Scored on the Goldschmidt home run. We have seen the consecutive scoreless inning streak come to a close for Jack Flaherty. And this is hit down the left field line. Will it stay fair? It's deep, and it is gone. It's a home run. Tommy Edman is 3 for 3.
I tell you how much I love this kid.
He can play. Our Nissan drive of the game off the bat of Tommy Edman. Just enough and just fair.
Just a good, easy swing. Don't try to do anything special. Make sure he gets a strike. This lefty's throwing the ball all over the place, and Tommy's just been able to put the ball in play, just battling. You don't need to swing hard to hit home runs. Danny, that Scooter Gennett game was 5 for 5 with 4 home runs and 10 RBIs.
Yeah, I thought it was double figures. Here's Carpenter, who has struck out looking and also flied to center.
It's a pretty solid week.
Yeah. Cardinals have a pair of home runs. Goldschmidt back in the third, his 28th, and now Edman with home run number 5, and he's 3 for 3, and 2 runs scored and a stolen base. Two and two. Boy, you can just see Carpenter right now, Jimmy. I mean, that's a 2-1 pitch, and he's just fighting it.
Yeah, he's not himself. He never swings at pitches like that when he's hot, when he's on, or when he's swinging the bat well.
And a fly ball out to left. Phillip Ervin there for the catch, and out number 2. StatCast AI, powered by AWS. The home run by Goldschmidt. Hits it down the right field line. And a fair ball into the corner, dug out by Aquino. Eventually, it hugged the wall and never came back to him, so he had to dig that out. It's a double for Paul Goldschmidt.
Let's show this replay, Danny. This is what hitting is all about. This is the nicest swing I've seen in a long time. This is better than any home run, any line drive to left field up the middle. This is awesome. Head down, ball gets deep in the swing zone, hits it where it's pitched. That's great.
And here's Marcell Ozuna, struck out and also grounded out. 0 for 2. 4-1 Cardinals. Tommy Edman with his first home run since the 18th of July, which ironically enough was against the Reds.
I was roaming the halls when you were talking with Marty, and Cowboy said that Goldschmidt's home run was long and far. That's how he described it. Listening to the radio at the stadium.
Ripped out to center, and it is over. Senzel misplayed it, and Goldschmidt will score to make it 5-1. Ball right at a center fielder, and that one just took off on him.
That's the backspin right there. There's not very many guys in this league that hit a ball right at you that stay up that hard, that high, and that long. And Ozuna's one of these guys. This ball's head high, and he's looking right at it, and it just took off. Came in one step, and that one step cost him. But like I said, there's not a whole lot of guys in this league that can hit a ball that hard, that low to the ground, that far.
It's 106 miles per hour off the bat. Mentioned it earlier that he's in the top 7 in exit velocity, and that ball was tattooed.
I told you I played American League. John Olerud used to have that swing where it's just a nice, easy swing, and every time he hit the ball, it ended up going further than I thought it was going to, and it caught me off guard a couple of times. But luckily, I was able to make the play. But woke me up in a hurry.
I bet. RBI number 67 for Ozuna. Here's DeYoung. 0 for 2 today. 3 hits on the road trip. 2 of the 3 have been home runs. So back-to-back doubles. Goldschmidt, Ozuna. And a 5-1 Cardinals lead, trying to earn a split here in Cincinnati. Inning started with a strikeout of Flaherty. Home run by Edman, hit down the left field line. Carpenter a fly out to left. Goldschmidt the double to right. Ozuna the double over the outstretched glove and arm of Senzel to bring in Goldie. And it adds up to 5 unanswered in this ball game for the Cardinals after trailing 1-0. And a walk to DeYoung.
That was done on purpose, knowing that Yachty hasn't had a whole lot of at bats back off the IR.
Cardinals baseball brought to you by Barnes Jewish Hospital and Washington University physicians, national leaders in medicine, and by Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals. Hasn't swung the bat all that well. 0 for 2, reached on an error and scored back in the 4th, and let's see if he's swinging. He is. You can just see that coming.
I said IR and I was mistaken. It's the IL.
IL, the injured list.
Only because it's been the DL for 150 years, so my bad.
We're over it, Jimmy.
Over all the changes in this game.
Need to get you a microphone with Marty. And that's inside, and it's 1-1. He said, and I tend to agree with him, too much standing around in the game.
Too much standing around inside the office up in the Major League Baseball in New York. Bored and trying to figure out ways to make the game different.
Grounder left side. Iglesias, he beat it out. The hustle of DeYoung, and they get Yachty at first. Oh boy. You got to wonder, was he running it all down the line initially? Tommy Edman, the home run. Cardinals add to their lead. Cardinals this season, they score 4 or more runs, and they've got 5 today. They're 55-17, scoring fewer than 4, 9-40, which was the case in games 1 and 3.
You know what's crazy to think about that? Scoring fewer than 4 runs are 9-40, but yet their pitching staff has an ERA of below 4.
Well, you don't see that every day. That was a deep in the hole 6-4-3 to get Yadier Molina.
I didn't even score that one the correct way. I just put out.
Yeah. It tied him up. Good pitch. Kyle Farmer at the plate. Farmer the catcher today for Cincinnati.
If he doesn't swing at that, that ball hits him in the front hip.
Same pitch almost.
That's nasty. That is such a good sinker.
That's 4 strikeouts today for Jack Flaherty.
He learns how to throw that pitch consistently. Wow. I mean, look at this ball explode. And only 91 too, which is good because it has more time to run. Take a little off. Those 2-seamer in there. Man, that was good.
So 1 out here in the home half of the 5th, and that'll be it for Wood. This is his spot. We'll see a pinch hitter in Jesse Winker.
We haven't seen him yet this week, have we?
He's had tightness in his back and missed the last 3 games. You know, the Cardinals have, in a way, caught a break. You've had Novato the entire series. Winker, who at times could kill the Cardinals, has been out. And since the break, .431 on base percentage, .326 average.
No Amir Garrett.
He's been suspended. He's still serving that suspension after the brawl that the Reds were in. And then Suarez last night after the hand issue that he had. So catching a little bit of a suspended, banged up club right now.
And we're still fighting for a split.
That's the game. Check swing and a foul ball.
The fan ran for that foul ball, and it was in somebody else's row. He picked it up and put it in his pocket like someone was going to take it from him.
He might get tackled.
He just grabbed it and shoved it in his pocket and walked away. You know, most people grab it and they show it to everyone. He wasn't having that.
Jimmy, I get the kick out of watching you watch the reaction of fans. I mean, you get more out of that than anything else.
I've never gotten to look at the fans before in the stands. I always, and to be honest with you, and I know you believe me, but you probably don't understand this, but I never looked in the stands when I played.
You're right. I don't believe you.
Because I would miss the catcher's signs, or I'd miss the setup, or I'd miss the coach telling me where to go. You don't have that much time out there. I would look up there, you know, in between pitching changes, but most of the time when it's hot, I'm looking for some shade.
Well, you're in the middle of center field. You're not going to get a lot.
No. In the old stadium, I would go stand up against the wall.
I remember you doing that.
2 feet of shade because the sun was straight up. Like if in that 404 section down in deep center field here, there's like just enough shade coming off that wall, and I would just go stand against it, hoping to catch a break. That old stadium used to get hot.
Yes, it did.
I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Me neither. A lot of memories. Second walk handed out by Flaherty. The 1944 World Series ring giveaway coming up. And you'll get the ring that was awarded to the players. Replica. Better preface that.
When the time difference now, the ring probably costs the same amount
as the replica.
No, yeah, back in the day, the rings probably weren't that expensive, and the replica probably costs a pretty penny to make now.
Giveaways are really good.
I'm impressed how heavy duty they are. We had the kids brought home one of those replica rings from
'04.
Yeah, whenever it was, and my son said, "Dad, check this out. This is almost as heavy as the ring you have." Impressed. I love the t-shirts that they give away. I've gotten a few of them at home and I wear them. They gave a light long sleeve hoodie away a couple years ago. What that just says STL on the front. It's blue and I love it. And every now and then I'm walking around town and I see somebody wearing it and I always say, "Oh, I love that shirt." Everyone says, "Yeah, I love it too. It's the best one."
Always something going on at the ballpark. Theme night, giveaway night, starting tomorrow for the 3 games with Milwaukee. $6 tickets, so very affordable to come down.
They had the straw hat night.
Oh yeah,
we saw that guy that's been in the last couple games. He's wearing your shirt. That was a giveaway a couple years ago.
The fedora. It's Megan Eberhardt of our promotion staff putting that all together. They had the Mother's Day purse giveaway, and that set an all-time record at Busch Stadium for attendance.
Those Gucci purses, man, they get you coming in truckloads. It's the one thing about having a 13-year-old boy who's obsessed with baseball. It's like every giveaway he says, "Dad, can you get me that?"
Oh yeah.
I'm like, you don't need it. You don't wear any of it. Oh,
gets away, and Senzel hit by the pitch. It's a walk, and now a hit batter.
I hit him on the wrist too. I think that's not good. Couldn't get out of the way. It's that sinker running. Oh, hit him on the elbow. Oh. That's double duty right there. Elbow and the ribs. Remember when I got hit by what's his name, Zambrano from Chicago?
I remember him.
The second time he hit me, I leaned and it hit me in the tip of the elbow and then in the thigh, and so I woke up in the morning and I had the blood pooled on my elbow and a huge bruise on my leg.
So he got you twice.
Well, 3 times actually, because hit me twice in one game.
You know, he's trying to come back, and I was researching him yesterday. Now, according to the reports, and you take from it what you will, hitting 97.
I'll tell you what, when I was surprised. He wasn't. I think he kind of got tired of all the politics, drama, of the game and drama. And he was a good guy. He had a lot of trouble keeping his emotions intact.
Oh, yeah.
Even to his teammates, people never really knew if he was going to explode or not. And he was like a really big kid, though. He's super nice, just wide open, and just couldn't. He still just wasn't really able to chill and tone it down. But I thought he retired way too early.
He's 38.
How long has he been retired? He's been retired for. Yeah,
last season was 2012.
So for 6 years.
Yeah.
Now? 7 years, 6 years.
Here's Van Meter with runners at first and second, and the Cardinals leading 5-1.
He's 10 years younger than I am, Danny. He's been retired almost as long. There's no way. Now with all the money they're throwing around,
you're staying in the game, is what you're telling me.
If I had his arm, heck yes.
Yeah.
Where is he? Do they say where he was throwing?
I can't
Just
remember.
Like winter ball, probably at home.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, he's not with the club, is he?
No. And that's ball 2, and you don't want to see the wheels come off here in this 5th inning for Flaherty, who has been pretty sharp here this afternoon.
Has been the hard part about the beginning of his year. It was a little inconsistent, but he was always having that one inning that kind of did him in. You're right. This is that inning that you got to get back into the groove and bear down. Try to get a double play ball right here. Just keep it down. Maybe take a little off your sinker.
The 2-0 lined into center, but Thomas there with the catch.
See the difference in that ball and Ozuna's ball?
Yeah.
You could just see the little bit of an arc where Ozuna's ball just never stop going. You can see this ball just kind of die. Pretty much the same spot, same height. Ozuna's ball just kept taking off.
And now it's Suarez, who is homered to left center back in the first, and then Carpenter made a fine play coming in on a bare hand to retire him.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is the at-bat of the day right here for Jack.
I would agree.
I'm throwing that sinker way in on the hands. Right
just
there.
like that.
Yep. As much as that's running right now, that's a weapon right now. This is not hittable. It looks like the fastball. He hasn't had this kind of a sinker or this much movement, I don't think, ever. And so that's not something they're used to seeing. And so you have to take advantage of that when you have it. Just like when we saw Wainwright the other day. The last 2 starts, he's really starting to get that comeback fastball moving again. Take advantage of it.
Here's the 0-2. Again going back in.
As long as you throw it in there, he can't do anything with it. You just can't miss over the plate. There's no way he can keep that ball fair. So I would throw that ball in there, let him hit it foul, See if he swings and misses. Let him hit it foul. And then you pick your spots where you either go up with a straight one, in with a straight one, or you throw the slider. Just got to be careful with the slider if you hang it.
It's another 0-2 pitch to Suarez from Jack Flaherty. He got him. Chase the slider, tag applied by Molina.
And all because he sped him up with those fastballs inside, get him to cheat. Then you can use this pitch as a weapon right there. Nice job, Jack Flaherty.
Like it, Jimmy. Hollywood. Yeah, it seems to be right up his alley from Morgantown, West Virginia. Senzel was hit by that pitch, and he's been grimacing ever since he went out to take his position in center, and welt, sizable welt there on the elbow after being hit. But he's there stretching and ready to roll. Kuno, the Chevy call to the pen.
Did you see who just walked by the booth?
It was the former GM of the Cardinals.
The late, great Walt Jocketty.
Well, he's not dead.
Well, you know what I mean.
I got you. Thomas hustling down the line, and he made it close. So the line on Wood, 5 innings, 5 runs, 8 hits, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk, gave up a pair of homers. And now Kuno into the ball game. He's a closer in the minor leagues for the Reds. Thomas retired 2 for 3, and it brings in Munoz, who is lined out to right and also struck out.
Does the late great mean he's dead?
Yeah.
Oh, I apologize there, Walt.
Yeah.
Oh, he just walked out, so clearly he's still alive.
He's woke up on the right side of the dirt, Jimmy.
The right side. The upper side?
That's right.
5-1 our score. Nothing in 2 the count on Munoz. And he got him to chase, and a strikeout, 2 quick outs. And now a word from Great Southern Bank.
Looking good.
Yeah.
No, Great Southern app?
And the batter is Flaherty. We thought that maybe last inning it was the key at bat in the game for Jack when he struck out Suarez. Really did a nice job. So he stays in the game. He's at 78 pitches this afternoon, and ball 1. One ball, 1 strike. Cardinals are 16-6 in their last 22 at this ballpark. Since the break, they've won 15 of 20 inside the division. And it's weird, we haven't seen Milwaukee, it seems like, forever. First 24 games, the Brewers and Cardinals played 10 times. And we have not seen them since April. That changes tomorrow. Little chopper to second. Galvis. A flip over to Van Meter. Cardinals go in order. Coming up, Aquino, Galvis, and Urban. This Capricast presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game, like ghosts walking through the booth, may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals.
See how many texts Walt gets, or his wife.
Budweiser, what's on tap? It's 3 coming up with Milwaukee, and we've got 4 with the Rockies, the next homestand.
Another hilarious loss.
Bronson Arroyo is here. That's one of your favorite teammates, huh?
I love Bronson Arroyo. I am surprised he's not out on his boat.
The famed musician, too, Bronson Arroyo.
I'll tell you what, that guy right there was a good teammate.
Well, why'd you like him so much?
I just liked him because he was a good teammate. He was just a player's guy. He was a veteran. He helped out in every way. He took care of the young guys. You know, every now and then you come across a guy who is just good player, good teammate.
He's working with the Reds as a guy that'll go down to spring training, work with their pitching staff and some of the young players, and lives here in Cincinnati.
Gosh, I used to have his number. I don't have it anymore. I was going to text him.
5-1 our score as we move to the home half of the 6th. Aquino, Galvis, and Irvin. Aquino popped out on a 3-2 pitch in the 1st, and he walked in the 4th. That at bat started out 0-2. 2 balls and no strikes. What do you got for this homestand ball game? Are you?
I got studio for the first 3 and me and you for Colorado.
All right. I'll be ready.
And then Milwaukee. And I'm going to take you to my favorite steakhouse on the road and show you my famed knife with my name on it.
Oh, I've seen it. That's when you know
Carnivore.
You're paying big bucks. Get that beautiful steak to your liking, Jimmy, and they come out with a knife with your name.
I was shocked when I saw it. Maybe they thought I was late and great.
And this knife to commemorate the late great Jim. No, sir.
Oh, I'm never going to live that one down.
BJC Healthcare difference maker, and it's the right-hander for the Cardinals. Jack Flaherty. His line thus far, 3 hits in 5 innings, 1 run. That was a home run to Suarez. Walked 3 and struck out 5, and that is going to be it for Flaherty. Labored a bit here in the tail end of that 5th inning. So the Cardinals and Mike Schill will go to their bullpen, and they'll do so with nobody out and a runner on here in the 6th. Of the 6th of the Cardinals Hall of Fame, and that day 30,000 fans 16 and older take home a mystery baseball cap. It'll highlight the inductees Scott Rowland, Jason Isringhausen, courtesy of Edward Jones. Great giveaway. Cardinals.com/promotions. Chevy call to the pen, and it's Giovanni Gallegos. Cardinals love Gallegos against the lefties, and why not? He has dominated left-handed batters this year. Nobody out, runner at first. They'll turn around Freddie Galvis here, and that's tapped foul.
We talked about Jack Flaherty's sinker today, how it had more movement than normal, and it's got an interesting text from Rick Ankiel, was working the post game today, and he said sometimes that'll happen when guys fall off to the mound a little bit more. The ball will actually get run and you'll lose velocity. And he was asking me, is he doing that on purpose, or is he saving some, or is he opening up a little bit more than normal? And I was watching that last inning, or the last time, and he was really falling off towards first base.
There's Thomas with the catch, 1 away.
I like that though, because that's like, you know, we're sitting here talking and we all have our little things that we watch, and to get that text from Rick just shows you how much, I mean, even for Ankiel, how much he understands pitching.
Yes.
And just the little things that most people don't see. Like, to me, I see it, and I just wasn't thinking about that because I was just hoping that he was making an adjustment with that sinker, and it makes sense. He fall off a little bit, ball runs a little bit, but usually that means less control and less velocity. And as Rick pointed that out, I thought that was pretty impressive.
We'll talk about that on the post game, I'm sure. Here's Phillip Ervin and a little bouncer. They'll get the lead man, the turn, and they get 2. 6-4-3 on the double play. DeYoung, Edman over to Goldschmidt. Nice turn by Tommy.
Quick hands by Tommy Edman right there. Nice play right here by Paulie, just getting the lead runner for sure, and why not throw it over there. 5-1 Cardinals.
7th here at Great American Ballpark by 4. Tommy Edman leading things off. Starting in his 12th game as a second baseman. He's played 4 different positions. Told me earlier today that his ability to play different positions obviously gives him more of a chance to play in the lineup every day. He says his routine to work all those different positions to stay sharp will vary from day to day before a game. And Dan, obviously, getting to lead off today, he said, does it matter where you lead off or you bat in another different position if you changes your approach? He said, nope, always have the same approach. And obviously, Danny, that's working for Tommy Edman today.
Here's Tommy Edman, who is 3 for 3. And is Scotty still with us?
Yes. Right side of the dirt, line of the day.
Well, thank you. Did my partner help you check out of the team hotel today?
Yes, he did, as a matter of fact. Dan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everything good?
Oh, my bill was way sky high today. Much to my surprise at 7 o'clock this morning. Woof.
Somebody got up from the dinner table without saying goodbye the other night.
Yes, I
ended up with the bill.
So you charged it to his room?
Well, I didn't.
You did, I bet.
Our whole table did.
Uh-huh.
There was probably 5 or 6 of us.
It's a veteran move there.
Yes, it is.
Scotty, I'm sorry.
And then I got duped by Scotty. More of a veteran move where he complained and said he didn't charge that and the name wasn't spelled correctly.
Whoever signed it
So somebody
only put 1 in instead of 2.
Yep.
I'm glad you got away with it, Scotty.
Thank you, Dan.
Don't put up with that stuff.
Okay.
Just trying to make sure you had your coffee in the morning.
1-2 to Tommy Edman, trying to make it a 4-hit day. Gateway Honda dealers home run inning. $1,000 will be donated to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri if a Cardinals player hits a home run. Edman hit a solo homer down the left field line back in the 5th. Pair of singles, 2 runs scored, and stolen base. Take a look at the home run. Curled it inside the foul pole down the left field line. And from the right side of the plate. He's got 5 home runs, 2 from that side, 3 from the left. And the 2-2 outside, full count. The 3-2 pitch. Edman slaps it the other way. Irvin is over and makes the catch. First out here in the top of the 7th. Edman's had a really nice game today with that turn moments ago on the double play, and now 3 for 4, and it brings in Carpenter.
I mean, can you ask for him to do anything else? I mean, he's really done it all. He played right field, he's played second, short, center, third. We had that little stat on him yesterday. He's hit almost everywhere in the lineup but 4th.
Carpenter today called out on strikes, fly to center and left. Boy, it's got to be frustrating when you've had success like Matt has had, nearly 40 home runs a year ago, and this year with the home run last night with 11, but it's just been hit and miss trying to get it right. Shift on the right side. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lifts it in the air to center field. Senzel with the catch, and that's out number 2. Quick word from St. Louis Children's Hospital.
Keeping kids in the game for 140 years. St. Louis Children's Hospital, guardians of childhood.
Nice read, Joe. Well done.
I love when you say that. The first time you did it, it caught me off guard because that doesn't even sound like him to me.
Well,
he does it so quick.
We find out where he's at to do that read. I don't know if you knew that, but
he calls in really quick, or he'll come in the booth.
And then right back out. He's on the course playing golf or going to an NFL game
or raising children.
Yeah, that's the other one.
His twins are about 4 or 6 weeks older than our twins.
Here's a 1-1. Goldschmidt with a 2-run homer in the third. A double, run scored in the fifth. 2 for 3. Cardinals with 8 hits here today. Last night, the 6th time Cardinals have scored 10 or more the game before, and then 2 or fewer the next game. They left 10 on last night. The 26th coming into play left on base in Major League Baseball. Outside, and he draws a walk, so he's on base for the 3rd time today. Cardinals receiving their 2nd walk. First base runner allowed by this right-hander. And here's Marcell Ozuna. 2-out RBI double in the 5th inning. Hit a liner right at Senzel, carried over him. And then brought in Goldschmidt back in the 5th.
What are you saying about the walk ratio and not scoring runs and stuff? Cardinals were 16th in the league and just based on balls percentage, right? That's just basically getting pitches to hit. You're not getting them. You're not swinging. And then in the last couple of weeks, they've gone all the way down to 27th in the league. So not, that's just like trending downward, basically.
Do you see teams though pitching them differently?
Yeah, a little bit differently, and I guess that would just say they're not being as patient. But it's just one of those stats you look at that goes along with their OPS is down, but they're cutting their strikeouts down a little bit too. Actually, no, they've gone up. So that's just all about that offense being inconsistent. And the one thing that they keep improving on is basically the running game. Stolen base percentages keeps going up. They're doing a good job with that. Saw them get thrown out on the bases today, which we haven't seen too much of recently.
2-2. It added though to the frustration last night. You had Fowler getting thrown out at third for a 3rd out. You had a single trying to be extended to a double thrown out at second, but for the most part, you're right, you haven't seen that nearly as much. And Ozuna pops it foul out of play.
I'd love to get Bronson Arroyo up in the booth. Reason being, on my interest, because he was that one guy I feel like the Cardinals had faced over and over and over, and we just love to hear his perspective on facing our teams so many times.
Iglesias to Galvis in the force play. And we're going to break and then come back with more in a moment. Brought to you by Budweiser. Legendary MLB moments happen. Budweiser will be there. And by Toyota. Let's go places. '19 Cardinals Hall of Fame induction class has been selected. Join the Cardinals. Edward Jones will honor Mort Cooper, Scott Rowland, Jason Isringhausen next Saturday at Ballpark Village. That is open to the public, and we hope to see you in what is always a very, very special day. Cardinals baseball, the Hall of Fame induction next weekend. There's a look at Bronson Arroyo. I know, Jimmy, you wanted to mention Bronson. You had something on your mind. What do you got?
Oh, nothing. I just thought it would be interesting to talk to a guy like that who's played against us for so many years, and he seemed like every single time we faced the Reds, he was the pitcher. And I just thought it would be cool to have him on air one time. That'd be a good guy to interview, because I think that's one of the people that you see all the time. And as a Cardinal fan, you're like, man, that guy used to pitch against us every single time.
Pitched for the Red Sox in the 04 World Series. And then Willie Mopena, that was part of the deal that brought Arroyo to Cincinnati. And you know, to his credit, he took the ball every time too. That was the thing that,
do you know, he didn't get
impressed
hurt.
me.
He never went on the DL until maybe one of the last 2 years of his career. I think he probably pitched for 13 or 14 years at least without ever going on the DL.
16 seasons for Arroyo, and atypical to what we see today because he kind of flipped the ball up there. He'd move it in and out, cut it.
Deceiving. Good guy, good guy.
2 balls and a strike.
The late great Bronson Arroyo.
Giovanni Gallegos came in with a runner at first and nobody out. Got Galvis to fly out, Irvin the double play, and starts playoff here in the bottom of the 7th inning, and that's line foul by Iglesias. Changes for the Cardinals defensively as Tommy Edman moves to third, Colton Wong at second base. Carpenter is out of the ballgame.
Heads up.
Be interesting to see how long the Cardinals want to go with Gallegos, and I bring that up because of the lefties the Brewers have, and you got 3 games coming up with him, and this guy has dominated those lefties. Andrew Miller, as I say that, starts to throw, and a base hit into center.
That's a slider or a changeup, maybe changeup. This guy just came back over the plate, ended up right down the middle.
Base hit Iglesias, and now Kyle Farmer. Crowd today 21,525. 21525. Giovanni now over 18 innings consecutive scoreless. We saw that Flaherty's streak snapped at 23 2/3. Last time a Cardinal had a streak of 23 plus innings consecutive scoreless baseball was Adam Wainwright. That was in 2014. There had only been 6 that had that kind of run since 1974 in Cardinals history.
Good pitch.
The one that stands out was John Tudor. He was unbelievable. 1985. He started out that year 1-7, and the Cardinals were playing the Braves, and they were on television. Not many games on TV in 1985. Handful. Friend of his was watching and said, "You're not pausing at the top." He had that kind of little pause in that delivery. And if not for Dwight Gooden, John Tudor wins the Cy Young. He had 14 complete games.
Wow.
He had 10 shutouts. And remember, he starts 1-7. He finished the regular season from June 3rd to the end of the regular season. He went 20-1 with a 1.37. It was incredible.
He was back there when you came in the game. You were going to stay out there as long as you could.
He was awesome that year. Off the glove of DeYoung and into shallow left. Stopping at second, Iglesias, and the first 2 have reached here in the home half of the 7th. Base hit for Farmer is first.
A couple fastballs in a row on the inside. That one didn't get in enough. Just shoots it through the hole. Todd Farmer cutting down his swing.
Tucker Barnhart has been announced as a pinch hitter. He'll pinch hit for Kuno. Gotta wonder about Milwaukee's pitching going into the ballgame tomorrow. They had 14 innings last night. They're trailing today in the 4th inning 13-1.
Wow.
Chase Anderson 2 1/3 and gave up 10 earned. And they're in Washington today.
Washington's been swinging it lately.
Yeah. Those are the kind of games this time of year, really any time, but in August you think about having to get through your pitching staff, that'll kill you. So the switch hitter Tucker Barnhart, much better from this side of the plate. 241, all 9 home runs here, driven at 27. Runners at first and second. And a strike.
Tell you what, too, it's hot. It's starting to get hotter. Pitchers wear out a little quicker. And then if you're struggling and using more guys, starters aren't having a little bit trouble with the heat too. Yeah, this is not the time you want to be scuffling with your pitching staff.
Ground ball foul, especially going into a really important series tomorrow night. Again, those $6 tickets, Cardinals.com/Papa John's. $6 tickets for all 3 games. Also, if you have a ticket, a reminder, 6:45. We're back to the 6:45 start. Kids back in school tomorrow. Nothing into the count. And the 0-2 pitch to Barnhart. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Elevated the fastball and a key first out for Gallegos.
Sneaky Gallegos with that fastball. I think the velocity is a tick more than it shows. Guys sneaking by a lot of guys. Still 95, but the feeling is 95. Looks like 97.
Senzel with a pad on the elbow after being hit in the 5th inning on that left elbow. He is grounded out and singled, hit by a pitch. And the first pitch is strike. He's grounded into 6 double plays this year. Cardinals turned a double play back in the 6th inning to end that threat. And that was Gallegos on the mound. One ball and 1 strike. I've seen this young man come into his own here with the Cardinals, and having the experience and just seeing the confidence grow throughout the year. The role has changed as well.
Yep. What do you say? It's fallen into favor. Been used more in crucial situations.
Check swing. He went.
It's the thing that the guy, when you have this kind of a fastball that surprises people and sneaky, the off-speed pitches are such better weapons because everyone's starting to like try to be quicker, try to be out in front of the fastball. It's like you think as a hitter, man, he's throwing this ball by me, I got to speed up a little bit, and then you can see right there, perfect example, that slider got no chance because it's already cheating. See what he does here with either a changeup or slider. Another fastball.
Outside. Van Meter on deck, hits from the left side. Left on their bench, Peraza and Lorenzen. They've used Winker, Votto on the IL. Barnhart pinch hit and struck out, the only out in this inning. 3-2 pitch with 2 runners on. And he walked them. And they're all loaded up.
I think you're going to get a chance right here to see Andrew Miller come in to face the lefty, and also John Gant getting warm down there too in case of make a switch.
So Van Meter coming up. He is 0 for 3. Andrew Miller coming on. Bases loaded, 1 out when we come back. He called to the pen. 55th appearance. It's been 4 days of rest, and Miller will not get Van Meter as David Bell will go to his bench and Suarez will pinch hit. Excuse me, Peraza will pinch hit. Bases loaded, Peraza at the plate. First pitch taken inside. 2 for 6 head to head here with Miller. He would love that double play. Two and 0.
I say you still have to be stubborn in this situation as a pitcher. You can't just throw a fastball down the middle. You have 4 runs to play with. You do not want to give up a grand slam. I would take a walk or a base hit. Be stubborn and keep throwing your slider and keep trying to make pitches no matter what.
Yanked foul, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Young lady down there got a baseball right in the chin, I think, off somebody's hand. I think they need to extend the netting in this ballpark.
The 2-1 pitch to Jose Peraza. Slider missed up, 3-1. Andrew Miller pitched on consecutive days 17 times this year, 4th most in the National League. Just seems like the more work he gets, the better, and he comes in with 4 days of rest here tonight.
Yeah, he gets a little rusty, and I'll still stay with the slider here.
3-1, and he walked him.
It's okay. John Gant is hot out in the bullpen too, and you know where I'm going with this, right? I'd hate to see him walk a guy, but I would rather see that walk than a grand slam or a double.
That'll be it for Miller. Things getting interesting. 5-2, 1 out, bases loaded, and Suarez, who's already homered, into the game. Ball to the pen. And when you think about John Gant, you think about ground balls coming out of the bullpen and double plays. He's among the league leaders in that category, and that's one of the reasons why you go with Gant in this spot. Earlier today, it was Suarez who put the Reds on top 1-0 with that home run.
Oh, you desperately need a ground ball here. Just get it out.
He's grounded into Suarez, 12 double plays. How about lucky number 13? Ball 1.
Not up there. No double plays up there.
On the bench for the Reds, they've got the left-handed batter Brian O'Grady, and then Michael Lorenzen, who also works out of their bullpen from the right side, the two-way player. Here's a 1-0 pitch by Gant. Little flare, hit down the right field line, foul.
Thank you very much.
1 ball, 1 strike. Aquino on deck. Suarez, that home run was number 34 back in the first inning. Bases loaded, and the 1-1 pitch. Lined, and it's a short up out there, and it turns into a double play. There it is, lucky number 13 off the bat of Suarez, and a double play. And I think Paulie may have done this on purpose.
This is a great play by Paulie Young. I think this ball is actually coming back into him. He almost overruns it, but makes a nice play for the double play.
Battery here for the Reds. Gossman in the pitch. Barnhart stays in the game after pinch hitting. He's your catcher. Farmer going from catcher to first base. And Gossman will deal with DeYoung, Molina, and Thomas. It's fouled back. Paul DeYoung starting a key double play. Second turn by the Cardinals here this afternoon to end the bases loaded threat and keep it 5-2.
This ball is kind of knuckling or slicing back, and look at him having to turn his glove over. Almost overran that ball. It'd be a good replay to see from behind the plate. See how much that ball actually moved.
And the 0-2 fastball misses. Kuno, now Gossman in relief, and a swing and a miss. Strikeout of DeYoung.
Check this ball out right here, Danny. Come back on him a little bit. Perfect time for that double play ball.
I wonder if he moved the hand just slightly back not to catch it and turn the double play. It may have been too quick to do that, but maybe. Here's Molina. Yachty has popped out, reached on an error, and scored. And also grounded out. 0-2. And a strikeout of Yadier Molina. Don't miss it, Budweiser Bash. Tuesday, August 20th, this Tuesday. Will Clark will be in town. Buy a VIP theme ticket. Also gain access to his pregame autograph session. Cardinals.com/BudBash.
That'll be a treat.
The Thrill back in St. Louis.
Can't wait to listen to you interview him during the game. It is going to be awesome.
I'm looking forward to it. He was one of my favorites. We got along fabulously when he was in St. Louis.
He tells it like it is, too.
Yep.
You got to come up with some good questions that'll just.
Well, I got one I want to ask him.
Have him answer him like they don't care about anybody, what anyone thinks.
How did you treat J.D. Drew?
He rode him pretty hard.
Yes, he did.
But with love.
trying to turn him into a major leaguer.
Yeah.
In every facet. 2-0 the count on Lane Thomas, 2-hit day.
Tell you my Will Clark story from my rookie year. My first home run as an Angel, my first year. Guy threw the ball up and in on my, like right at my head, 0-2. And I said, he's gonna throw me a breaking ball right here. Hung me a breaking ball, hit it out in Texas. I kind of gave him a look like, you know, I got you. So I'm running around the bases. Nothing happened, you know, nothing, no big deal. Next inning, I walk or get a base hit. I go step on first and I stand there, and he walks up to me and goes, "Don't ever let me catch you staring at my pitcher again, Rook." And I was like,
uh-oh.
And he was like, "You don't have to do that. There's no place." And like, he just went off on me.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Did you say anything?
No.
Just listen?
I was just like standing there listening. This guy's been in the league at that time probably 10 or 12 years. It's incredible. Felt like he played forever.
Finished up in 2000 with the Cardinals.
Another great teammate.
3-2 pitch. Hit out of play.
That's the kind of personalities that they're missing nowadays. The guys that will just tell you how it is. You know,
he would do that.
Tell you what's going on. Tell you how it is. Ain't worried about hurting your feelings. But he's going to teach you the game, and he's going to give you some love when you deserve it. It's not all about bad.
Three-two pitch, and Thomas strikes out. So Gossman comes in and strikes out the side here in the top of the 8th.
Cardinals 5-2. Strong outing by Jack Flaherty, 5+. Only 1 run, 3 hits. Big homer by Goldschmidt and Tommy Edman. And now Johnny Gant on the hill, facing Aquino, Galvis, and Irvin.
Double play was big to get out of the inning, but then you had Aquino lurking, and
that's why it was
big.
On
deck. Yeah.
I don't know. I think this is a good matchup for Johnny Gant. I think he can. He's one of these guys that has got plus stuff that a guy like Aquino hasn't seen too often.
A little bit low. Aquino has walked a couple of times and also popped out 0 for 1 today.
Still like to see them pitch him in more. Like this. Just get it in there. I noticed that you were just standing in the back of the room making me sweat out the first part of the inning. I appreciate it.
No, sir. I was doing extensive research.
It's good.
I try my best, Jimmy.
Put me on the spot. Make me learn a little bit. Take it for granted that you're here every minute of the day.
Spend my life in this booth. Not a bad place to be.
Nope.
At the ballpark. Love it. 2-2 the count. We'll be back home at Busch Stadium tomorrow. Fired up for that series beginning tomorrow.
6:45 start tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Now you saw right there reason why you want to try and pitch him in. You see all of a sudden now he's kind of like not sure where he's going to get pitched, and you make him a little uncomfortable. Another fastball inside.
2-2. Broke his bat. Edman cuts it off and makes the play.
Nice play, Tommy. It's a good pitch right there by Johnny Gant.
Gant came in with the bases loaded, 1 out in the 7th, and Suarez up and got a 6-4-3 double play. It's retired Aquino, and you feel a little bit more comfortable now in this ball game. don't know if you're ever comfortable, but when you get through Suarez and Aquino, you feel a little bit better.
Yeah, if you can keep from giving up any walks, not too many hits, you're in the driver's seat.
Here's Freddie Galvis.
Solo home runs cannot hurt you right now.
A swing and a miss, had him way out in front. Galvis from Venezuela, and that's where Davy Concepcion was from. Part of that big red machine. He won 5 Gold Gloves. And he wore out the turf at the old ballpark with those one hoppers to first. He knew how to use the turf.
Backhand and just throw a one hopper over there.
You got it. The 0-2 in the dirt. I mentioned, to me numbers are always interesting how guys get them, but Galvis was to wear 19 this year when he was in Toronto, but that had been worn by Jose Bautista, so the Blue Jays stayed away from that. And he wanted to pay homage, he said, to Marco Scutaro. That was one of his favorite players to compete against. Marco Scutaro. I think of Matt Holliday when I think Marco Scutaro.
Can't wait to hear why.
It was a vicious
the slide
by Holliday in postseason play with Marco.
Playing the game the way you're supposed to play it, the way we were taught. Now, do you think Matt Holliday would ever purposely try to hurt someone on the field?
No.
Just breaking up a double play.
Fly ball into center. That'll carry to Lane Thomas, and that's out number 2. Phillip Ervin. Fly to left. Base hit to right on a bloop single and grounded into an inning-ending double play back in the 6th. At some point, I would think you got to get Carlos Martinez a little work. May see that in this game.
Oh, you got a save situation. I'm sure he'll be in there in the 9th for sure.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike.
But I think that you're right. If maybe you score a run, I still think you might go to him. It's got a little bit extra time between the day game and the night game tomorrow. A little more rest.
When you talk to closers, how often did they want to work? Outside of the obvious, which is a lot because that means they're winning, but to stay sharp.
I've never really heard anyone ever say one way or the other. I know that they do like to work to stay sharp, but I've never heard anyone say exact. Izzy would go out there every day if he could.
A lot of times you
Ryan
probably
Franklin
couldn't,
take the ball whenever you gave it to him.
These guys are old school.
Well, they've also learned how to pitch, and they would pitch without their best stuff. Just what Ankiel was saying about Jack today, not having everything but getting through it. Good pitch.
Not getting that low strike is Gant. 3-2 the count on Irvin.
It's a really good pitch right here. It's a tough pitch to lay off of.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. So Gant comes in, gets the double play, and a 1-2-3 bottom of the 8th. 9th inning. Off 9th inning here in this series as we wrap up the road trip. Gossman struck out the side in the 8th. He got DeYoung, Molina, and Thomas. It'll be Munoz, then Gant's spot, and Tommy Edman due up for St. Louis. If anybody can reach, then Colton Wong. This being our final visit to the Great American Ballpark here in 2019. The first pitch pulled foul. We'll see the Reds one more time in St. Louis, and that'll include a Saturday doubleheader at the end of the month. Cubs will be in Williamsport tonight, and that's a celebration of the Little League ball players, and Cardinals participated in that, and I think it's awesome what Major League Baseball is trying to do with that game, to expose the game to little kids and make it even more accessible for them to meet some of their heroes. And Munoz strikes out. Gossman has come in, seen 4, and struck them all out.
That's some good stuff, man. Just claimed off waivers too. Claimed off waivers from the Braves. I love these guys when they come in and just pop into an organization and make a difference right away, especially a team that's been struggling, a little bit beat up, like you said. Get a second chance.
This will be Dexter Fowler, the pinch hitter for Gant. I mean, can you imagine that as a little league kid getting to rub elbows with major league guys?
That would be cool. When I was little, I always thought like big leaguers were gods. Like you couldn't get anywhere near them.
Absolutely.
Never saw them. You only could watch them in batting practice. They did a lot of their work before the gates opened.
I used to love going to the ballpark early.
We didn't have it. We didn't have any money, so I could never get a good seat. So I was always just standing out in the outfields.
I snuck in. I used to watch Ozzie take grounders every day, and he did various things to get loose and get ready, but not even looking at second base when he would throw, you know, things of that nature, being on 2 knees as he was taking ground balls. And as Fowler is struck out here, that's 5, and that's 12 in the game. 12 strikeouts at the Cardinals. Our Budweiser player of the game, and that is Tommy Edman. 3 hits, 2 runs scored, stolen base. Began the day at second base, and now he's at third. He's hit his 5th home run. He's your Budweiser player of the game. The players were, you know, like buying snow cones and ice cream for the guys and watching the Little League games around the area. It is a great thing to be a part of, and great thing for Major League Baseball. Here's the 0-1. I know some of the players and talking with it too, they're like, well, do we really want to do this? It disrupts.
It's like something you don't want to do until you do it.
And then they got there and they said, oh, this is great. Loved it. Great experience. Well worth it. Oh-2 pitch. Gossman strikes out this side again. 2 scoreless innings. Carlos Martinez, and he'll try to finish this off and get a split here. Dexter Fowler staying in the ballgame to take over in right field. Carlos leads the National League, 10 saves since the All-Star break. Had 2 outs for his 13th save of the season on Tuesday night. That was in Kansas City. Team leader is Jordan Hicks. He's got 14. It'll be Iglesias, Farmer, and Barnard. So Munoz out of the ball game, and
look at this guy.
How you doing? Good to see you, Bronson.
Hey, buddy. I heard you got stuck at the door right there.
Jimmy, let's call the 9th inning. So Bronson Arroyo, who was part of the Reds, world champion in 04. That pitch taken low and outside, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. And the 2-1. And a fly ball lifted out to deep right center. This ball is off the wall. Playing behind Thomas and backing the play up was Dexter Fowler, and it's a leadoff double for Iglesias. Nothing easy.
Center cut. Pretty much fastball right down the middle. Got to be careful here. Guys do not want to make the last out of the game. These are the 3 toughest outs to get every night. Or day.
So leadoff double. It's been Flaherty, Gallegos, Miller, Gant, now Martinez. Really good work out of John Gant with that inning and 2/3. Came in with the bases loaded, 1 out. And a ball to Farmer.
Does a nice job. He did a great job today. Got that double play ball. Tricky hop to DeYoung. He's just got so many weapons with that fastball too. It's just wouldn't be fun to face.
Farmer 1 for 3. Singled off the glove of DeYoung. And was back in the 7th inning. It's 2 balls and no strikes, and Molina, usually if he goes out this early in an outing like this, he's not seeing something that he likes.
You know what? Yachty treats him like his son. He goes out there and talks him, straightens him out, gets on him, praises him. They got a good relationship, and Yachty gets the point across of something he doesn't like, and he goes out there and takes care of it.
Again, the telecast talking about this, a game the Cardinals really want, they need. With Milwaukee coming in town tomorrow, earn a split here. And that'll be a base hit into center. Almost hit Iglesias. And with that, the tying run will come to the plate. Second hit for Farmer, and it brings in Barnhart.
Had nowhere to go. Good thing that run wasn't important, or isn't important for them.
Barnhart pinch hit in the 7th, struck out. That was against Gallegos, and then stayed in the game and took over behind the plate. The tying run at the plate, runners at the corners, and nobody out here in the bottom of the 9th. And a strike. The issue that you have here, without stating the obvious, which is you don't want to lose the game or have them tie it up, but you're getting into the territory potentially of Suarez and Aquino again.
Yeah, you don't want to have to go through them to get out of this game, and getting really close, like you said.
A shift on the right side, and it's 0-2.
It's a good job by Yachty, now seeing that he needs to throw his slider a little bit more. Back-to-back sliders.
And the 0-2 pitch to Tucker Barnhart. A wild pitch. Runner at third stays put. That'll take away the potential of a double play because of the wild pitch. Well, the reason that this game has stayed 3 runs is because of Kevin Gausman, who threw an immaculate inning. 9 pitches, 3 strikeouts, and all told 2 innings, 6 strikeouts. Second time that's happened against the Cardinals this year. Josh Hader did that earlier this season against them. Here's a 1-2 pitch. 2-2. Out to right, and it sinks for a base hit. 2 runs will come in to score. It's a 1-run game. The tying run at first base, and the winning run will come to the plate. Barnhart brings in 2. And still nobody out. Lorenzen will pinch run for Barnhart. If we would go to extra innings, you would have Brian O'Grady come in and take over at first, and then you could take Farmer and put him back behind the plate. I think you got to go get Martinez shortly. I mean, if he can't get this out here, you got to look at it. And Senzel sends one into right. Catch made by Fowler, and that's the first out. O'Grady will pinch hit for Gossman here, so they're out of available position players.
I don't know if I pinch run Lorenzen. I might want to save him to hit. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I could see it.
I mean, but you got the meat of your order coming up, but I'm sure there's somebody in there that can run on that pitching staff.
And that's the point I'm
other than him
going to make. Yeah. That's hit out of play. This young man just called up in replace of Votto. Goes on the IL today. 27 home runs at AAA.
Oh, you got to be careful.
The 0-1 pitch. Cardinals have turned 2 double plays. It's now a 5-4 game.
Be nice to get a double play ball right here before Suarez gets to the plate.
The 0-2 pitch.
Be interesting to see if there was a ground ball to third. How do you turn that double play?
I think it's got to be DeYoung.
It's going to have to be DeYoung.
Just something that
catch it on the run.
Talked about, practice with the shift. Now time called as a baseball looks like got on the playing surface out on the track and left. So baseball makes its way onto the field. Oh boy, nothing easy, huh?
Nope.
One ball and 2 strikes. The next 2. O'Grady. He got him.
Great pitch right there. Back door. Slider on the edge of the plate. Just hits the corner. That's not even a slider. I don't even know what that is. Almost like a BP fat, like a flat slider maybe.
Just backed up.
Yeah, backed up. 89. That's about slider speed for Carlos.
Here's Suarez and another visit by Molina to bring in the infield with the game on the line here. Lorenzen, the pinch runner, he's at first base. Runner at first in a 1-run game with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th. Suarez against Carlos Martinez, 7 for 20, 3 doubles. It is driven in 3. It's either a hit or a strikeout.
We come up with a game plan here, and I think the main game plan is don't give him anything that he can hit up in the air to left field, and that's including probably not throwing him a first pitch strike fastball. If it is, it better be away or way in off the plate for a ball.
2 outs and strike 1.
And that's what I mean. Those are the pitches you're going to have to throw right here. Something short that he doesn't recognize. Make him hit the ball the other way. Make him earn it if he's going to get it done. Change up.
And the 0-1 pitch. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 to Suarez, who homered back in the first, his 34th. On its way. The check swing, he went 1-2.
Lorenzen's trying to get a jump, and he better really get a jump if Yachty's throwing.
Outfield very deep. Cardinal fans, some of the Reds fans on their feet. And our crowd today, 21,525. Pitch number 21 of the inning for Carlos Martinez. Here it comes. Check swing. He got him! And that's the ball game. A check swing, a strikeout of Suarez, and the Cardinals hold on 5-4.
Wow, gutsy sequence of pitches right there to Suarez. Nice job by Yachty. Going out there with that little meeting on the mound, and Carlos finishes it off, and yep, he went. Nice job.
The Cardinals hold on, and St. Louis goes 4-2 on this road trip. They split here in Cincinnati, sweep in Kansas City, and it's back home tomorrow night against the Brewers. Our post-game show will come your way next.